So, short experiment to preparing CMC slime, which is a substitute that looks like mud or can look like chocolate. And what you have to begin with, 200 grams of CMC powder, 500 grams of sugar. You only need 400 grams of sugar. So 200 grams of powder with 400 grams of sugar, and I'm going to use this chocolate powder to give it a colour and see what happens. So we pour the CMC powder into this little pot here. You could, if you want to, wear a mask to stop the dust, but it is food safe, so one of the reasons we're using it, it is food safe to begin with. Don't have a measuring jug for sugar, so I'm going to guesstimate about 400 grams of sugar. The suggestion is to mix this in first before. I've not added all the sugar just yet. And the idea is to mix this first to make sure it all gels together before you add it to water. The importance of the sugar being added to it is so that it helps it break down to stop it clumping, making lumps. I'm also going to add the chocolate powder now to try and give it a colour. Just thoroughly mixing this around so you can see merging it all together. There will be a lot of dust in this experiment, as I think it's almost done. The recommended level of water doesn't have to be hot. The recommended level of water is 6 litres for this mixture. So just get a full set of 6 litres. And come back to it when it's ready. Now comes the fun bit. I'm going to add this slowly to this and then mix it in. I'm going to have to mix it as I go, so I'll pause the video again. As you'll see, it appears very, very lumpy for now. But the idea of the sugar basically is to break up the lumps, so it's has a smooth consistency. That might take time, so give it a good mix and then let it do its thing for a while. Recommend leaving it for a few hours after mixing to settle everything down. Hand mixers shouldn't really be necessary, but you can use them if you want to try and get it to a good consistency. But make sure it's thoroughly mixed through, and it should be a very smooth consistency when it's finished. Lovely as it is, 6 litres of water turned into some sort of super thick gel rather than liquid. So you're going to have to add more water to it, but as you can see the colour's really good. Needs more water to turn it into a more liquid form. Just to show you, at nearly 10 litres of water, it has now turned, still not quite the same thing, but it's so really still lumpy, but super smooth consistency, super smooth feel, and It's nearly 10 litres. Over 10 litres of, so amazing. So my calculations said it was going to be about 6 litres to make it liquid. And in contrast, it turned into a soup with much more than I imagined. Over 12 hours since we have this. It is nearly absorbed up to 15 litres, and it is still very thick. Super thick. Quite incredible. Everything is dissolved. You could technically add more water to that, or unless you want to use that. Quite incredible. So for the purpose of those, we have now mixed, try to get a brown colour, acrylic green and acrylic red into it. It gives it a slightly darker colour, but look at it's almost super thick still. You can make this a little bit thinner to really give it a more, we can leave it like that. It's so hard, it's quite hard to mix. Don't need any hand mixers, just need to leave it a long time to cook, well, not even cook, just to set, and all the lumps are gone. So you can thin it out a bit more if you want to, or leave it like that. Just want to show you also how thick this stuff is. On the hand, that sinks in all the way there. The feel of it is quite incredible, and they put their hand up and you get that. Very gloopy.